It's been almost 6 months since the reveal of Assassin's Creed Mirage, and so far we have seen nothing new. All we have is the reveal trailer from September of 2022, and we're still waiting for gameplay. Or at least another trailer of some kind. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at what information we do have on when we might see AC Mirage gameplay or a trailer or something, along with speculation on why we haven't seen gameplay or anything for 6 months, which is, by the way, the longest time an Assassin's Creed game has gone between reveal and gameplay reveal. I mean, you can't deny this is kind of weird, kind of sus. Kind of sus. So we have a decent amount to dive into in today's video. If you do like what you see and you want to stay up to date with everything AC Mirage when we finally do get reveals, along with the game finally releasing, I will be covering everything. Press that subscribe button if you don't want to miss it. But I'm going to be professional here and I'm going to say wait to the end of the video so you do know if you enjoy my content and do want to subscribe. Alright, let's get into this video. So firstly, as I said at the beginning of this video, we haven't seen gameplay or anything for 6 months after its initial reveal. That is kind of weird. Most companies will announce their games with what we saw, a reveal CGI type trailer, and then about a month later, at the most 2 to 3 months later, we might see some gameplay, then we might get a reveal, you know, at the end of the year or something like that. That's kind of what we've seen in Assassin's Creed games in the past. It's what we're used to, and more importantly, it's what Ubisoft is used to. So it does beg the question, what's changed here? Why was this a game announced when it was, when clearly there's something going on behind the scenes, which makes me think at least the game isn't ready, and maybe there is barely anything to be shown. When they announced Assassin's Creed Mirage, they originally said the game would be coming at the beginning half or beginning quarter of 2023. Well, we're in that beginning quarter right now. We've seen nothing, so I think it's about 99% likely that we're not going to get the game within the next month or 2 or 3. We've also heard about internal delays within the company of Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Mirage. They never specifically gave us a release date, so they didn't seem to feel the need to have to tell us that they've delayed the game, but we heard from insiders that the company internally delayed their game to around August 2023. Now I'm going to start with saying that makes sense, and I could imagine that being the case, because we haven't seen gameplay yet. However, I do think they have to show gameplay by June of 2023. June of this year. The CEO of Ubisoft has come out and said that if E3 is indeed on this year, then Ubisoft will be there, and he says they will have a lot to show. That does definitely allude to Assassin's Creed Mirage, and you know, they think about things. They understand that they can't say things like that without people thinking about things, reading between the lines and speculating. So they know people are going to get excited for Mirage just by that statement alone, which leads me to believe that there will indeed be Mirage gameplay. Especially seeing leaks have suggested we will get the game in August of this year. Now, I personally don't believe we'll get it in August. I think it will be, you know, the standard Assassin's Creed release window, such as October or November, around then. If the game had to be delayed by almost a whole year pretty much, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, then clearly they weren't far enough down the development process as they thought they would be by now. So a gameplay reveal in June coinciding with an end of year release makes a lot of sense to me at least. Now, you may have seen a recent video from the YouTuber Blackwoods on Assassin's Creed Mirage, and he said this.
Ubisoft has now cancelled Assassin's Creed Mirage from the upcoming E3 press conference this year, which is going to be taking place in the month of June.
Now, I did my research to try and corroborate what Blackwoods said here about no gameplay being in June, but honestly, I couldn't find anything, so I have no idea where he got that from. From what I can see based off of my research, we have more information alluding to gameplay being at E3 than we have information saying we won't have it in E3. So yeah, honestly, I don't know where he got that from. Maybe you guys can correct me in the comments, let me know. But regardless of what's right, what's wrong, it's clearly very weird. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion going around as to what's going on with this game, and that's because we have a lack of official information. And a lack of official information sparks even more worry, even more concern, and even more questions. And then it leads to kind of a cycle. No information, more questions. No information, more questions. More questions, no information, and it goes on and on. I think a lot of the time when a company, a person, anything is radio silent, it's usually because they have something that they don't want you to know. So in this case, this whole thing leads me to believe that Ubisoft are way behind on their schedule with Assassin's Creed Mirage. Then you take into account their ongoing struggles with losing investors, losing money, having to cancel games. Don't worry, Mirage isn't going to be cancelled. That is their cash cow, and that is probably one of their main hopes for success at the moment. So that's not going to be cancelled. But I'm talking about the 3 unannounced games that were cancelled. They're cutting back. They're trying to make money. They are quite worried right now. So it makes sense that probably due to behind the scenes stuff going on, the game is nowhere near as ready as they thought it would be. They haven't got gameplay to show us, because if they were to show us gameplay right now, it would probably be a broken mess, and they'd lose even more faith in the AC fanbase and games fanbase as a whole. Honestly, I think they're going to struggle to get the game out by the end of the year at this rate if, again, we still haven't seen anything, stuff isn't ready, so they're probably scrambling, getting as many teams as possible to work on Mirage to get it out the door by the end of the year. That's a worry within itself, because if they're rushing a game, then it might not be good, it might be full of bugs, it might be another Assassin's Creed Unity all over again. That being said, they want this game to do really well, to be received really well, because again, this is their cash cow, and this is what they're relying on to make them a lot of money quick due to their loss of investors, their downward spiraling sales, etc. Regardless of whether the game's going to be ready by the end of the year and it gets rushed out the door, regardless of any of that, I do believe we will see gameplay by at least June. It's E3 and Sony press conferences, Xbox press conferences. It's a busy time for gaming, and it makes sense. It's the perfect time for them to show gameplay, again, regardless of whether it's really ready or not. In my opinion, if the game wasn't going to be ready, or they knew there was a chance it might not be ready when they said it would be, they shouldn't have even announced the game at all. I think they gave us a reveal trailer way too early, because even though we've only just found out about losing investors in the company, they probably knew this a lot longer before we did. So to keep good faith with their current investors that have not yet pulled out, and to try and save as many as they can, they released a reveal trailer for AC Mirage even though the game wasn't ready, to get investors on board, saying, okay, well, you know, you've got a good game coming out that's going to make us a lot of money. I think the game realistically probably shouldn't have even been announced until September of 2023 or something like that, and then the game released in early 2024. I think they want to rush this game out the door, get it out by the end of the year, because their new Avatar game, Frontiers of Pandora, I think is what it's called. That game was going to be coming out in 2022. It was delayed until between 2023 and 2024. That's our release date window. Due to Ubisoft's current problems, they're clearly lacklustering, if that's the right phrase, on all of their games. You know, there's a lot of strife within the company, a bit of chaos going on by the sound of it. So I think it's most likely Avatar's going to come out in early 2024, which makes room for Mirage to come out in 2023. They're going to want to get their AC game out the door before Frontiers of Pandora, because even though Avatar's a huge IP, in the gaming industry, Assassin's Creed is a lot more of a well-known, established IP. Due to its name alone, it's going to sell really, really well. Now, another theory floating around YouTube, the internet as a whole, and in myself, I guess, is that due to the issues we've already talked about in this video with Ubisoft losing their investors and sales, they've looked at Mirage and said, okay, it was originally going to be a more story-focused Assassin's Creed game. There wasn't going to be microtransactions. They've looked at that and said, well, now we're losing investors. We need to make more money as much as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to revamp this game. We're going to change gameplay, make it a lot more difficult, and then we're going to sell you XP boosters or gold boosters, whatever it is, so that is seen as much more appealing to do than just to play through the game. You spend a lot more money, more microtransactions they sell, the more money they make, the better the company looks, and the quicker they're going to save themselves from financial failure. I do think the game will be littered with microtransactions just due to the news we have on the investors pulling out, and that could be another reason why the game has been delayed. They're revamping the gameplay mechanics, not for the better. Well, for the better for them, because they'll think they make more money, but for us, it's not for the better, because gameplay will suffer for it. And that's all speculation, as I said, a theory, but it makes a lot of sense. So overall, is Assassin's Creed Mirage in development hell? I think maybe it could be, but maybe they're just taking a bit more extra time to revamp the game, to maybe release it at the perfect time, but I do think they're going to rush it out the door. I don't have much hope for this game. I think story might be good because, you know, a good writer can write a good story regardless of how bad the game development is. But overall, I just have concern. Again, I think it's very likely we will see something. I think they'll feel like they have to show something by then, regardless of what is ready and what isn't. That's about it, guys. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you have theories of your own? Let's get a conversation going and build that Assassin's Creed community. This is what I said with Odyssey, this is what I said with Valhalla, and this is what I might be saying with Assassin's Creed Mirage. Even if the game is awful, we still have the classics. We still have the good ones. We have the Ezio trilogy, we have the first game, we have AC3, we have all that, blah, blah, blah. We've got the good stuff, and that won't be going anywhere. At least we can enjoy those. I love you guys, mate. The father of understanding, guiders. I will see you soon. Goodbye.